everyone. Welcome to a special edition of In the Driver's Seat. Today we're on location at NADA in New Orleans. Joining us is Doug Miller, President and Chief Commercial Officer of Cars Commerce. Doug oversees the company's sales channels and revenue operations, building on the nearly 20,000 local automotive dealers and major dealer groups, national brands, and OEMs they do business with. Doug is also leading the transformation of Cars Commerce from a listings model to one where media, digital solutions, and data all work together. Doug, welcome back to In the Driver's Seat.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you back. So last year we talked at NADA, we talked about Cars Commerce being on this real mission to simplify things for dealers and provide best-in-class solutions to help them operate more efficiently, that's a big theme that we've seen this year as well. How did the last 12 months play out, and what would you say are the main challenges for dealers as we move into a new year?
Simplifying everything about buying and selling cars. It's okay to talk about it again because it is a complicated space that we're in. Look, we come in with a multiple decades legacy of working with local automotive retailers, and three big pain points that they're talking to us about over and over again as we start the year. First, differentiation and wanting to be able to tell their story, talk about the experience and their reputation in the market, and compete that way. Second, marketing is expensive, right? And they want to be able to market more efficiently. There's a lot of inefficiencies out there. They want to be able to reach actual in-market shoppers and sellers of cars. And then third, and probably most of all, we hear a lot about used car acquisition. There was a long time that used car business was the icing on a cake, and for many franchises now it is the cake. And they're working harder than ever in acquiring more cars, but acquiring those cars profitably and having an exit strategy for every car. So those pain points are what we're thinking about. That last one we're thinking about a lot as we build a platform for simplification.
Yeah, it's true. Those are pain points that we've talked about really in the past 12 months quite a bit. When we talked last year, you mentioned the three big ones at the time: efficiency with marketing, which you're touching on again, staying differentiated, which you've mentioned, and acquiring more used cars. You mentioned, sort of working something into, the platform right now. Where are we now? Like, what's happening with those pain points?
Yeah, well, let's talk about the third for a minute, because there's so much that we're doing across the platform for simplification. And it is still true that many of our dealers work with 20 or 30 different point solutions that are not interoperable. Mm-hmm. There are four key pieces of what we build into our platform: a marketplace that is turnkey, easy for them to get in front of 25 million consumers; a media network that extends beyond that marketplace, builds on that audience, and builds all the way over to CTV and OTT applications and digital video. We, of course, have world-class speedy and high-converting websites from Dealer Inspire, and then trade and appraisal solutions. And on trade and appraisal solutions, we made some news here in that we recently acquired Dealer Club, which is a reputation-based wholesale dealer-to-dealer auction. And we're excited about that piece as we extend capabilities to help dealers to acquire and get better at the used car business.
This is so exciting. I mean, this is really new news, this Dealer Club, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think Joe Neiman, who is the founder there, has worked in the industry for decades. Was one of the founders at ACV, but he thought, I can build this better. Yeah. And he really believes, like we do, in this community that we're in, this club that we're in that is automotive, and the reputations, the conversations between one dealer and another is often how the wholesale dealer to dealer market work. Now it needs some digital support, right? Just like on Airbnb, when you have a 5-star rating and you have a lot of reviews, that is a host that you would want to buy.
It's an endorsement.
It's an endorsement.
Yeah.
It's the same in the wholesale auction dealer to dealer space. There will be in Dealer Club a reputation built up on both the buyer side and the seller side. and that allows for real transparency between them and the exchange. There's also efficiencies in that. We're going to actually give sellers credit for selling in this market instead of having costs associated with it. There will be credits delivered to sellers for selling in that exchange, and lower costs for buyers as well. So we're excited about that. It is also an extension of the work that we've been doing with AccuTrade, which is the same model of transparency, helping the consumer to know, how did you come up with that number for the car? Well, here's a universal condition report, and it's based on data that is coming out of the engine of your car and market data for what's happening with that car in this market right now. That information, that transparency, that will also feed what we do with Dealer Club, helping dealers to acquire cars. When they appraise more cars, they acquire more cars, they sell more cars, their dealerships become more profitable, and then with the dealer-to-dealer auction, they'll have an easy exit strategy.
It's amazing. It really is transformative, Doug. Like it's exciting, and all of those tools are so complementary. You know, one helps the other. AccuTrade is going to help Dealer Club, and just the fact that it's reputation-based. It just takes the stress away from it, and it takes a lot of the headaches associated with, a physical auction. It takes that away as well.
And we learn a lot of that from the Cars.com marketplace, where we have the largest library of reviews from consumers on dealerships, as well as even salespeople inside those dealerships from our Dealer Rater platform. And we learned that that's just part of our ethos. It's some of what we do, so it makes sense in the wholesale space as well.
That's so great. Clearly, dealers are very focused on ROI right now, and naturally, Cars Commerce is really focused on ROI and outcomes. How can dealerships ensure their advertising and media investments deliver tangible outcomes? We're really talking about, show me exactly what this outcome is really going to be for me, like faster inventory turns or increased website engagement. Like, how can they ensure that that's going to happen when they put their investments into advertising?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of thoughts on that. As I said at the top, marketing is expensive. And unfortunately, there are a lot of dollars that are spent on the 95% plus of consumers that are not in market for a car. We see the consumers that are in market for a car. We're a automotive, 25 million consumers plus a month that come to Cars.com. This is the automotive search engine that feeds all of what we do. It is infused, obviously, in helping dealers to connect by just listing on that marketplace. But that data then feeds social applications that we run on their behalf. It feeds, as I said, video campaigns that we run on their behalf. That data makes their marketing more efficient. A couple specifics there. One, our Dealer Inspire team runs a media desk on behalf of we have over 7,000 dealership websites, and many thousands of them are also trusting us with their media spend. When they compare the spend that they put towards Google, which is increasingly more expensive, and they compare that to what they're running on the media network, our audiences are 5 times more efficient than the Google audiences. They're not as large. We are not as large, but we are efficient, and it is a very efficient way to get in front of that audience. And so from $1, many of our partners are putting their first dollar on that for that efficiency. So it is one of the ways that we're thinking about it in concrete terms. How can we make them more effective? Another example of this, I talked about the interoperability of the platform. Just at its simplest, we're seeing dealers that are working with us in just one additional capability. So let's say that you are an AccuTrade customer, but you also are on the marketplace. Well, we're seeing you get twice as many connections from us if you are working on both of those things together than with just one. If you are on a Dealer Inspire website and you are also on the marketplace, we see your churn of inventory is 4 days ahead of the average dealer because of the benefits. And so generally across the board, dealers that are working with us with more than one capability are seeing 10% improvement in inventory turn.
Yeah, so more than one capability, your ad dollars are going to work even harder.
And that's why we've been trying to connect these pieces together to simplify a lot of point solutions. We're not everything for that dealership, but those core solutions can help with this efficiency problem that we're talking about, the profitability challenge, acquiring cars. In the acquisition space, those dealerships that are applying AccuTrade inside the service lane, they're fundamentally, some of them are doubling their profitability because they're street buying instead of going to the auctions and transforming that model.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when they're vehicles that they might have even sold in the first place. They're getting them back.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we talk a lot about first-party data. Let's talk about predictive data for a second. What role does predictive data play in helping dealers price vehicles strategically and choose optimal exit strategies for inventory?
Yeah, so just in the fall and coming into NADA, we realized that we see a lot of data about inventory in a market, and it obviously feeds what we do with AccuTrade, but we wanted to present more of that information to any customer that is on the marketplace because we also understand things coming off the marketplace that can help them. And so we have a new inventory report that we are providing to our marketplace customers just to help them to predict which of their cars they should hold and which of their cars they may want to move in wholesale or trade in different ways. Which of them they might need to add a little bit of more marketing oomph against, and which ones are they might be able to yield more and price up on. Look, we believe that the entire industry and in the work that we do with local dealers, it should be a race to the top, not to the bottom. And we want to provide them with all of the intelligence that they can and data that they can use to make sure that they have the right inventory, they have more of the right inventory, and they're pricing it correctly to yield maximum profitability for the dealers.
That's great stuff, Doug. It's been so great having you with us today. I want to ask you one last question. It is NADA. What have you seen at the show so far, apart from the historic weather situation in New Orleans? What have you seen at the show so far that really made an impact, made you go, wow, made you stop and think?
I am proud to be part of this space, and I think there are ways that technology can make people better, and there's some great technology, including ours, that is coming to market. But maybe the thing that made me stop and go, wow, were the golden retrievers that came by.
Yes.
And I think I want to bring the golden retrievers on Automotive News next time. That seems like a fun way for us to have a conference.
It's never a bad idea to have golden retrievers at a convention, especially NADA.
Bring a cute dog and you can ask all the questions of the dog. I think that would be even more fun.
I know. It's so true. Well, I want to thank you again, Doug, and we will see you all next time for In the Driver's Seat.